Hello everyone, welcome to Inconvenient Truths. I'm your host, Jennifer Zeng. In the past few days, rumors about Xi Jinping having been ousted have drawn a lot of attention and heated debate among Chinese communities worldwide. What do the rumors say and why do people believe or disbelieve them? And how do I look at these rumors and debates? Today, I'd like to talk about these issues. First of all, a Shen Yun video.
I have traveled all over the world to 50 countries now, and I have never seen a production any better than this anywhere.
5-star.
I'm blown away. It's blown away my expectations.
It was just a superior performance that truly could bridge the world through music and dance.
Startling and breathtaking. We haven't had quite an experience like that in all the years that I've lived here, so it was special for us.
I think that I learned more in this performance than I actually do in a whole week of school.
The beautiful costumes and people just float. The choreography is incredible and the storyline, beautiful, beautiful.
We've been to almost every show in Las Vegas and I think this is so unique.
And this is definitely one of our favorites so far.
Very uplifting, very relaxing. My blood pressure went down during the show. It was very soothing.
When I came here tonight, I felt very dejected about the human race, about everything going on in this world. And during the performance, I just felt now there is hope for each of us individually, as well as for all of us collectively.
Shen Yun was more breathtaking, more heart-wrenchingly beautiful, more amazing than I had expected. It's very difficult to put into words, actually. You just have to come see it.
Right now, Shen Yun's 7 equally large companies are touring multiple cities in America, Mexico, Europe, and Australia, and will be in Taiwan in June and July. Check the show schedule near you and buy tickets from shenyun.show/Jennifer-Zeng to get a discount. Now, let's move to our topic today. Several days ago, a Chinese YouTuber in Canada called Lao Deng did a show with a shocking title, Shocking Coup, Xi Jinping has stepped down, Li Keqiang is the new master. His main points are, according to his source in China, someone within the CCP's national security system, at a special top CCP level meeting on May the 2nd, Xi Jinping was forced to agree to step down and transfer his power to Li Keqiang, the current Chinese premier, and the CCP's 20th National Congress this fall. And because Xi agreed to hand over his power peacefully, he would not be held responsible for what he did. In other words, his safety would be ensured after he handed over his power. And in the transitional period, before Xi Jinping fully surrenders his power on the surface, everything will look the same to the public. To maintain the stability of everything, Xi is also responsible for gradually turning around the bad policies he made, so the public won't be told about Xi's stepping down. The main reason why other top-level CCP leaders are unhappy with Xi are his extreme political, economic, and diplomatic policies, and the harsh situation in Shanghai was the trigger for this meeting. The CCP leaders were also very unhappy about the personal worship of Xi Jinping, etc. On the same day, similar rumors were also spread on Chinese social media. This post says, with very vague language that Xi has stepped down. Li Keqiang will be the next head and has started to show goodwill toward the US, and the army said that the military will obey the collective decision of the board of directors and will not choose sides. And after the minister said they won't choose sides, the game was over, etc. In the following days, Lao Deng did another 3 shows to further stress what he said was true. Some of the evidence he presented was that there had been subtle changes in several major web portals in China. Xi Jinping's photo had been taken down from the main page, and when CCP's mouthpiece Xinhua reported on a CCP meeting on May 5th, it only mentioned Xi Jinping once, and then followed that by mentioning the meeting pointed out, etc. This was different from earlier reports, which would usually say Xi Jinping pointed out or Xi Jinping stressed, etc. Another piece of evidence he used to support his argument was the US Secretary of State Blinken initially planned to give a speech on China on May the 4th, but changed his idea and canceled it after claiming that he tested positive for COVID. So Lao Deng said the cancellation was actually due to the communication between the US and the new leadership of the CCP. And someone posted this tweet on May the 8th saying that when his friend visited a bookstore in Beijing, he found that all the display cabinets with Xi Jinping's books were no longer there, and a staff member told him that they were removed after the bookstore received a notice from their supervisor. Someone also used yesterday's front page from the CCP's mouthpiece People's Daily as evidence. The headline is about how to better utilize the fundamental rule of consumption for economic development. And out of all the news titles on the front page, only Li Keqiang and another CCP leader, Li Zhanshu, were there. Xi Jinping's name was not in any of the news titles. That is very unusual, almost impossible in the past. People also noticed that Hu Xijin, former chief editor of the CCP's mouthpiece Global Times, published a piece on his Weibo account, and he said that zero COVID is indeed important, but only a cost-controllable zero COVID policy is meaningful. He also said, we surely cannot use endless lockdowns and cutting off connections for people in different areas in China to maintain a low-level transmission of COVID, as the consequences will be much worse than what we saw in other countries. The economic hardships will bring us many problems domestically and worsen our situation internationally. He also said something to the effect that we should not adopt a Shanghai scale style lockdown in Beijing. This is the bottom line we should guard. We should tell the truth to the public, etc. So everybody can see that he virtually completely contradicted Xi Jinping. This is also regarded by some people as evidence that Xi has encountered big setbacks within the party. Otherwise, as a veteran CCP propaganda tool, Hu Xijin would never dare post such an article. By the way, that article was deleted by Hu Xijin himself later, and he has since published another article with a completely opposite position. So basically, the above are the rumors and the supporting evidence or arguments about Xi Jinping's alleged stepping down. My friend Simone Gao said in her recent Chinese language show that she learned 2 months ago from a second-generation Red in China that Xi Jinping once wanted to leave office after the 20th CCP Congress. He planned to give his power to someone who would listen to him and therefore relieve some of the pressure on himself. Also, at the same time, he can control that person from behind the scenes, and the person he chose was Chen Ming'er, the current CCP secretary in Chongqing City. Simone said that was what she learned about 2 months ago, but she didn't talk about it then. She chose to talk about it now because the rumor about Xi Jinping's stepping down. She said, although Xi Jinping could have thought about handing his power to someone he chose, his thought may change over time. If he feels safe about his ability to control things from behind the scenes, he may choose to do so. However, if he doesn't feel safe, he will probably not choose to hand over his power. Anyway, after reading through some of the hot debates, I'd say more people don't believe the rumor of Xi Jinping stepping down than people who do believe it. Some people say although they wish it was true, they don't believe that Xi Jinping would easily hand over his power without some deadly struggle first. Then, what do I think? Although I do notice some of the subtle changes in terms of the wording of the Xinhua reports, Hu Xinjin's unusual Weibo article, People's Daily's unusual front page, etc., I don't find Lao Deng's claims very creditable, mainly for one reason. And the reason is he claimed that after Li Keqiang takes over, he will start an overall political reform. And the CCP will fade out from the stage, and China will adopt and establish a Western-style modern civilization. After the CCP fades out, the current administrative system will play its role and govern the country, etc. Isn't that too good to be true? According to Lao Deng, the CCP elders, the healthy force is inside the CCP, including Jiang Zemin, Zeng Qinghong, Hu Jintao, Wang Qishan, and Wang Huning, etc., all worked together to make this happen, that is, to force Xi to step down. If that really is the case, would the CCP leaders want to have the CCP fade out from the stage and hand over the power to the administrative system? No way, right? Almost all the CCP leaders have accumulated through illegal means astronomical sums of money from corruption. Some of them have so much blood on their hands. Do you believe they would just fade out on their own from the stage? Also, Xi Jinping has purged so many CCP officials since he came to power. Some of them were national-level leaders. So do you think he will believe that his safety can be ensured if he agrees to step down peacefully? Wouldn't all those officials take revenge on him? As far as I can see, any claim that the CCP would want to reform itself or choose to fade out from the stage is absolutely as laughable as it is an insult to people's intelligence. To refer to Jiang Zemin, Zeng Qinghong, Wang Huning, etc. as a healthy force inside the CCP is equally ridiculous. For one, the CCP's so-called initial heart was to overthrow all existing human civilizations with violence, to liberate everyone, to achieve communism in the whole world. Without this fundamental mission, the CCP will no longer be a communist party. For two, as I said before, the CCP has killed so many Chinese people since it took power 73 years ago. To the CCP's top leaders, whether they can get hold of their power is a matter of life and death. And for three, how about the trillions of dollars they have accumulated with their power? If they lose their power, wouldn't they lose all their wealth? So the next question is, why is such a rumor being spread, and how about those subtle changes that do exist? I'd say the emergence of these rumors is no doubt the result or the manifestation of the CCP's fierce internal power struggles. All factions want to spread information or misinformation as a weapon to defeat the political enemies. At the very least, they can create some trouble and mental pressures for the enemies. That's also why you can often see contradicting reports or signs from the CCP's mouthpieces. It's all because different factions are fighting among themselves. I know many people in the US and other countries in the West also hope to replace Xi Jinping with another CCP leader so that things can go back to the normal days when Wall Street elites can happily make big money together with the corrupt CCP officials at the expenses of both the Chinese people and ordinary people in other countries. I'm afraid those days will never come back, even if Xi Jinping does step down. As I said, the fundamental mission, the fundamental nature, and the unchangeable history of the CCP have already decided that the CCP will never abandon its initial heart or its evil ways. There is no way for it to turn around or redeem its enormous crimes now. As the old saying goes, cheat me once, shame on you. Cheat me twice, shame on me. I hope nobody will be a fool who gets cheated twice by the CCP. Well, that's all for today. If you like my content, please help me spread my videos or to go to my website at jennifer.zengblog.com, jenniferzengblog.com. Sign up for a membership or make a donation. Thank you very much. See you next time.